All right, it's time for the paper review now.
Yes, indeed, it is time. First one for the week. Yes, of course, it's Monday. We'll be doing this with the leadership and communication strategist, Dotun Ojo. Good morning. Good to see you.
Morning, Dotun.
Nice How was your weekend?
Very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Super. It's good to know that. From the Punch now, PDP alleges fresh plot to arrest Saraki and Ekweremadu. APC dismisses allegation, says Senate President, Deputy must go. PDP Senate caucus passes vote of confidence in Saraki and his deputy, of course, in the person of Ekweremadu. Okay, so we've not heard the last of this
of
crisis
course,
in the National Assembly.
The game is actually just beginning because it will interest you to know that there are so many people, there are so many senators within the rank of APC today that actually loyal to Saraki, and there are also senators within the rank of PDP that may not be totally in support of him. So even when you're looking at the number, you may not totally be able to understand the game. Yeah. It is when they reconvene on the floor of the House, you will now know who is who. Then
and
again,
it's not likely they're reconvening anytime soon.
It's not likely. It's not likely. If I were the Senate President, will I have, when I know that the political season is actually volatile, will I have reconvened at this point in time? The answer will have been no.
Absolutely. All right. National Assembly invasion. Northern elders, Afenifere or Haneze. Others demand a judicial probe.
Judicial probe. Okay.
Because they're saying that that probe should not be led by the IG, who, according to them, is already compromised somewhat. Somehow,
really. Yeah. But again, I don't think that there are some things that we should waste our time on. In all honesty, I felt that mere sacking the former DG is enough for everyone to know that, okay, it's not going to be business as usual. So if the executive goes further by saying, oh, we want to set up a committee, it is fantastic. I don't want us to waste so much of time on, oh, we have to do this, we have to do that.
Yeah, but let's just wait.
But let's wait for the report.
If there were pending issues that were dragging all the while, or there were deliberate attempt to divert everyone's attention from it, you know that EFCC has been wanting to probe or at least investigate former DG of the DSS.
Yes.
And if all of these issues are pending, don't you think they should look at them?
I think they should look at them, but we should not necessarily, if the government is not actually willing to set up a judicial panel. I think for me, I am good with whatever panel is set up. I am concerned about implementation of report. I tell you, Mike, it's not about it's not about the report. We've seen enough of report. What I want from government is action, and whatever the recommendation is, let's just go by it.
All right, what else do we have here? Falana urges DSS acting DG to release Dasuki, El Zagzaki, and others. Of course, he has promised that CFR, the acting DG, to move away from business as usual, that things are going to change at the DSS. Anti-Graft Group wants EFCC to probe Daura. It's all about Daura, really, mostly this morning. ASU, FG face-off, government renegotiation team backs Babalakin. Police return 100,000 naira bribe to contractor detained cops.
Yes.
Very interesting one. Okay.
Really interesting, I must say.
It is very interesting. If something is not done urgently about what we're having in the Nigeria police now, then it's a disaster waiting to happen. Honestly, we have seen some policemen that are just not better than armed robbers. And that's exactly what played out in this particular incident.
That's very strong.
Of course, we have policemen that are worse than armed robbers. We have them. How do you explain a situation where an actor or a producer of a movie was going to location and was accosted by some SAS operative, and they asked him to transfer over 100,000 naira to their account? This particular incident, they took this man, they saw a lot of 200,000 naira on his phone, and they took him to a POS that he should withdraw 100,000 for them. Is that not worse than armed robbery?
It leaves us speechless, really. But thankfully, that money has been returned.
Yes,
but then again, is that where it stops? Is that where it stops? The Edo State Commissioner of Police, Kokumo, should it stop at just returning this 100,000 naira?
Of course, it's not going to stop there. It's not going to stop there.
So far, the cops involved has been detained, and we hope that certainly
Yeah.
prosecution and other disciplinary action will be taken to serve as deterrent.
Okay,
to
there's a
others.
bold picture standalone of the crash site of a Swiss-made
In Indonesia.
pilotless aircraft at Memok Mountain in Indonesia. Very unfortunate situation there. Okay.
Let's move to the Nation newspaper now. 2019, INEC budget stuck as Senate won't reconvene. Senators likely to adopt Reps report. There is this issue of, okay, I think the House of Reps can reconvene, but the Senate will not reconvene. So whatever the House of Reps comes out with, we'll adopt.
it.
I think they've even started work before they went on the recess. They started
exactly.
work on
Yes.
this thing. Now, we cannot be totally authoritative as to whether they will reconvene or not. The earlier message was that they were going to do that. They would do that on Tuesday. But as at yesterday, the senators have not been notified of their reconvening, though many of them are said to be in Abuja as we speak. But again, like I said the other time, it's a volatile time in the Senate. It is a little less in the House of Reps because the Speaker has not come out to say,
exactly
I am
where
effecting, you understand? So that's why it's a little bit very calm. Immediately, the Speaker announces that, oh, he's leaving the APC, then the battle will also shift ground, maybe at that point in time, from the Senate to the House of Reps. So for now, because the APC has the number in the House of Representatives, the Speaker has not defected, so those people can still come
so they can have peace.
Reconvene.
All right.
Uneasy calm.
Uneasy calm.
All right, now let's move on now. Policemen killed in bandits' ambush, and this is really sad. When we talk about the issue of ambush, a lot of people say when there's an ambush, many of it is not coincidence.
It is not.
It's somehow leak from intelligence.
From within.
Now, a policeman who can actually ask you to go withdraw 100,000 for him can actually sell sensitive information to get money. And that is what we have been facing. Majority, unfortunately, the system, because the police is angry with the system, that's why they are maltreating the people. They feel that the system has not taken care of them. And the best way, when you drive a big car, they see you as being part of the system. They don't think that you actually work for it. So they are angry with the system. And one of the reasons why they are angry is that now about 2 or 3 of them are dead. There's all possibilities that the federal government or the government of Nigeria will not revisit their case, not even paying their entitlement to their family. This is what they have experienced over time. There was a scenario there was a case that happened of a particular police officer who died, and in one particular state, the police service account person sat on the money. So they had to call me. We kept going on there until we called somebody in Abuja, and the person said, oh, they have released the money. So this is what an average policeman also goes through. And that's why they are angry with the system. But because they don't know the right way of directing their anger, they direct their anger at the citizen, and they want to extort them.
It's out of their frustration. All right, Babala Kimpanel to ASU, federal government alone can't fund universities.
Okay, reality check.
These are other issues, certainly, that the government or Nigeria has to look at.
Now, I'm thinking before we talk about those that should be involved in funding a public university, we should talk about the role of organizations in Nigeria that are making profit, especially the foreign ones. What do they call them? That will just come. What is their corporate social responsibility? The government can actually, there's a way the government can direct the template of your corporate responsibility to the people. And this is what I mean. For example, if the government says, oh, at this point in time, whatever you are doing as your corporate responsibility should be towards the area of education, that's going to help us a great deal. But I doubt whether people are actually thinking towards this. And at the end of the day, private universities are coming to the rescue, whether we like it or not. It's going to get to a point that the same way you see private secondary school on your street, maybe 12 or 15 of them on one street, that's how we'll be seeing private university.
The other question, but the other question is, are they really coming to the rescue? When you check the quality of
they're watering down the quality of education.
Nobody is rescuing anything, because even the public university is not rescuing anything. If your son goes back to your own university to study the same course you studied, he may likely be taught by the same lecturer with the same handout. So what are we rescuing?
It's a serious issue. All right, that's
is that it from the Nation? Okay, to the Daily Sun now. This one is coming from Okorocha. Presidency, Igbo work against Igbo. According to Rochas Okorocha, the governor of Imo State, every time he comes out, or if he comes out to run for the presidency, it is Igbo that will that will fight him, that will not give him any chance at all.
You see, I've said it here before, that our major problem is that we are misdirecting our grievances. The problem of a Yoruba man is a Yoruba man. The problem of an Igbo man is an Igbo man. The problem of an Hausa man is an Hausa man.
How is that?
No tribe in Nigeria is completely against another tribe. Because like we talked about police now, once they come together and say, if any tribe today comes together and say, this is what we want to achieve, I tell you that a member of that tribe will go to the other tribe and tell them that, no, don't agree for this set of people. But again, are we running tribal nation? There's no doubt about the fact that we are more than 200, we have more than 250 ethnicities in Nigeria, very complex. But again, whatever your tribal agenda is, does it place the interest of the nation first?
Unfortunately, that is not the case.
That is why they're asking, when they say the presidency should go to South, or it should come to Yoruba, or should go to Igbo, or go to Hausa, how well off are those who own the presidency for the time?
Yeah, how does their life improve?
Exactly, improve. What's the difference? Because
I think
if you ask the Bayelsa man, for instance, the pride he has is in the solidarity of the fact that, oh, we had a son who is a president. But has it changed? Has it necessarily translated into a better life?
Well, ordinarily, it's not supposed to. It's supposed to improve the lives of
Nigerians. Exactly.
That's the concept. But again, if you have somebody from your particular region as the president, either we like it or not, there are some benefits that will naturally accrue to you. When President Goodluck Jonathan was the president, when you get to corridor of power, what do you begin to see? You begin to see the heart. It shows that either we like it or not, you see the Niger Delta, there's a connection somewhere. But again, the failure we have is not a tribal failure. It's a national failure which started at individual level. And for us to correct it, we must be able to look beyond three resentments. The resentment of religion, the resentment of race, and the resentment of, oh, I need this person, of religion. So those three resentments, we need to be able to look beyond.
Okay. What else? Impeachment frenzy in the Senate. APC, PDP, RAPC exchange words over alleged plot to remove Saraki and Ekweremadu. Saraki's time is over. That's Oshomole.
That's like a movie about Gigim.
Can you imagine? You're doing this on Breakfast Show? All right. Yes, this gory, no, not gory. Gory is not the right word. But really, I mean, this hold up on a Sunday at the Apapa Oshodi Expressway. Tankers, truckloads, containers, total gridlock. Total standstill, and nobody seems to know what exactly to do about this. It's a very sad, sorry situation.
Immediately, the team of what's it called, task force that was deployed there actually resigned and said, oh, they may not be able to do something tangible. Then I knew that the problem may not be over soon.
Okay, moving on, let's just leave it. By-election, APC clinches Katsina Bauchi Senate seats. APC, PDP trade blames over corruption. Oh, who is more corrupt than the other? Or who caused the corruption in the first place? We don't know. Kano Emir speaks on why insurgency war is difficult to win, and gunmen kill 4 policemen in Kaduna State.
Really a sad one. Let's move on to the Vanguard newspaper now. It's the last paper for the day. Saraki will take over National Assembly if that's a condition. And Buhari campaign organization is the one saying that APC backs BCO. That's the Buhari campaign organization, but won't join in mobilization, says acting publicity secretary. It's an invitation to anarchy if they do that, says PDP. 49 senators support Saraki. A National Assembly resumption unlikely as details of planned impeachment emerge. All right. Arrest warrant. Appeal court sets up panel to hear INEC boss. This has been on for a few days now. 4 policemen killed in crossfire with Kaduna bandits. A sad one. We've talked about that. Then farmer punches mother-in-law dead over child custody in Ondo. Yeah. Well, these civil issues just happen here and there. You just wonder. Release Dasuki, El-Zakzaky, others. Falano tells new DSS boss.
Now, can we talk about the new DSS boss? Because when he was talking the other time, I actually pitied him. I pitied him in the sense that he was speaking like a patriot, not considering the political situation surrounding his office. Now he has said that he's going to do things differently. And the question, if you look at the body language of Mr. President, he does not want to, the president does not want to release Dasuki. So now if you are coming out to say you want to do things differently, that's
how,
why.
Well, but how you wouldn't know
exactly
if the president really doesn't want to release Dasuki.
The body language of the president has shown that. There was a time they did an interview, and when they asked the president said, hey, the man that stole a media chat, so amount of money, do you? So it is clear that the president does not want to release him. Now you are DSS Director General, you want to do things differently, while your Oga has a different agenda.
So he might find himself
really
between the devil and the deep blue sea,
honestly,
listening or observing the principal's body language,
of course,
and of course being torn between that and wanting to do the right thing.
Until we get to a point where we have institutions who will do things without necessarily looking at how one person is behaving, the body language.
Well, in all, I think there can be new tactics and new information and new ways of doing things. Really,
there can be.
It depends on what he's bringing on the table. Because if like you said, if it is that the president doesn't want to release him, and he's coming on board to say, because of this and because of that, let's do it this way and let's do it that way. It's all about strategy.
Let's not even forget that he's acting now. He's not substantive.
Yeah, he's not substantive. So. All right, Soyinka accuses Obasanjo of awarding oil blocks indiscriminately and illegally.
I think the Vanguard has been kind in dropping some of the words that
Professor Soyinka used, because if we have to go by that, it's really...
Since 1999, and I'm looking at it from leadership perspective, we need leaders of character and competence. Since 1999 is very, very... And when you talk about, okay, let me use capacity, not competence, because you can actually be competent in the real sense of it, and your health will not allow you to work. That's capacity. So since 1999 till now, we've been having issues of having a president who has both capacity and character. Now, Obasanjo will have fit for the best president the nation ever had, because he came in with a lot of hope. I read from the Punch of 1998, that 1998, I think December, that a Mercedes-Benz may be sold for 50,000 naira if I become the president. That's coming from Obasanjo, and he raised the hope of the people. Unfortunately, something went wrong. He has the capacity, he's competent, but he played politics of bitterness and putting self at the center of the society. And that is what disrupted everything. So either we like it or not.
But some people would argue that. They would say that Obasanjo is actually one of the most patriotic leaders that Nigeria has ever had.
Patriotic leader, because anything that favors him is in support.
Well,
and I'm not kidding about that.
The point there is we have also had other analysts who have seen things from different perspectives, because it's all a matter of opinion, actually. And that's the beauty of the society.
Yes.
So let's leave that. Finally now, National Assembly invasion. I find it very NEF, that's the Northern Elders Forum, PANDEF, Ohanese, Middle Belt Demand Probe. Okay. All right. We'll certainly talk about the probe, or the alleged probe, or the call for probe of Dasuki, Daura.
Daura.
Certainly, as we get along now. Dr. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
I'm not Daura.
You are certainly not Daura. You cannot be Daura.
Why are you disclaiming that?
Well, Dr. Daura,
you know, we've actually moved from a society where you used to bother about the name, you know, remember whose son you are.
Exactly.